What's going on, everybody? It's your girl Kira Sky here. Welcome all. In today's video, we will be covering the do's and don'ts when it comes to succeeding in your first initial video interview with a major airline. All right, so my first tip for you guys is what to wear for your interview. What you should not do is take advantage of the fact that you have the privilege of conducting your interview in the comfort of your own space, whether that's at home or in your office or wherever you choose to do it. Do not come dressed like how I am right now. Do not come dressed in just a regular t-shirt or in workout gear or whatever it may be, because at the end of the day, this is an interview for a company. You have to treat this interview as if you're going out to a company, to their building or their facility, and you're dressing the part. So that would be wearing a suit and tie for the guys and looking nice in your blazers or dresses for the ladies. Now, your friends, when it comes to looking the part for an airline, as far as colors go, are your whites, your blacks, and your blues. And when I say that, I mean you will be wearing maybe a white button-down shirt and a black two-piece suit, a blazer and your pants. Or for the females, if you want to wear like a nice blue dress or a black dress, and you always want to add, if you're a female, you always want to add a color lip, whether that be red or that can be a nice nude like what I'm wearing, something with color. And when it comes to your makeup, which I'll get into more detail later, you should look very neutral, very natural, and tasteful. Don't do too much to where it looks like you're going out on the town for the night with your girls, and don't do too little to where it looks like, I don't know, you're not trying. So that's my tip for the guys. Like I said, please be sure to use your nice suits, wear a tie, look clean, make sure your beard is all together, make sure you're not looking rough or like kind of scruffy, make sure your hairline is good, make sure your haircuts are all nice and neat for your interview, because first impressions are everything and you want to make a good impression. So you want to treat this video interview as if you're actually going and physically meeting these people. All right, my next tip will be answering some of the questions and how to answer some of the questions. So in the interview, in your video interview, they might ask you, what made you want to choose our airline? Do not, I repeat, do not say the obvious answer. I want to travel. Don't we all want to travel? That's why you've applied to the job. They know that already. What you need to do is do your research on the company. Know what the company does outside of being an airline. Like, what do they do in the community? Know a little bit of their background and history, and kind of take a deep dive into what the company stands for. What's their mission statement? What's their priorities as far as their reputation goes? What do they stand by? What are their morals? So get to know the companies. So when it comes to answering that question, say that you want to expand in your career development and customer service and in the aviation industry. Say what you admire about the company. Say why you think you'll be a good fit for the company or why the company is a good fit for you. Talk about how maybe their morals or their mission aligns with yours as well. Just sound like you're actually interested in their company. Make sure it seems like you did your research. Don't make it sound so scripted, but just be genuine about it. And I'm sure they'll appreciate the fact that you took the time to learn more about them, and that helps them learn more about you when you correlate it to your values or what you're looking for in your job position. And of course, in the end, you could say, I'd like to travel. But the way you can say that is, I want to broaden my horizons. I want to become more well-rounded and experience different places and different cultures. That sounds a lot more better than saying, I just want to jump on a plane and travel. Like, don't do that. To add more onto the questions you're going to be asked a lot about behavioral questions and experiences. And also you're going to be asked about the STAR method. So when it comes to answering these behavioral questions, they're going to ask you things like, think about a time when you were stressed and you're at work. What did you do? How did you handle that? Or tell us about a time where you had a disagreement with a coworker. Or you guys didn't see eye to eye on something. How did you handle that? What did you do to solve the problem? Or how do you feel about relocating or missing holidays with family? Things of that nature. They're going to ask you stuff like that because they're trying to figure out who you are as a person and how you handle yourself in certain situations when it comes to being on the job. So the best way to do that, I would Google some customer service related or behavioral questions online so that you can kind of get your mind together mentally and think about what you're going to say, and also think about those examples that you want to use, because during your video interview, you're timed most of the time. They're going to time you so you don't have all day to answer your questions, and you need to make sure the example that you use is a very good example. If it's an example that doesn't make sense, or you don't answer the question fully to where it's like they're not really sure if you answered it, that's not good, because you got to think about this video interview as your one shot. You think of every step in the process, of their hiring process, as your one shot and your one chance. So you want to handle it as best as possible. So take time to study the STAR method, which I'm going to go over in a second, and take time to think about situations that you've dealt with in your career. And it may not be flight related if you've never been in the flight industry. It may be related to a job that you had in fast food or in retail or as a waiter. It all depends. So any example that you use can be good, and it can be used because at the end of the day, this is a customer service related job. And if you've been in the industry customer service wise, I'm sure you have some examples up your sleeve dealing with how you handle working with coworkers or handling customers at your job. So I would take that into consideration. So now let's talk about the STAR method. Okay, so when it comes to the STAR method, excuse me. When it comes to the STAR method, it is imperative to understand what it is and how to use it. And I didn't even know about the STAR method until I got into this industry and had to do my interviews. And honestly, it's a method that I think people should use for communication in general, because it really just helps you break down a situation or a topic clearly and, express it clearly so everybody understands what you're trying to say. So let's talk about it. Here's an example I found on Google that describes the STAR method perfectly. STAR is an acronym for situation, task, action, and result. So let's look at the example. Situation, describe the event or situation that you were in. So in this example, the person is having a problem growing their plants. The task, explain the task you had to complete. They had to figure out a way to make their plants grow. Action, describe the specific actions you took to complete the task. So it looks like they used sunlight, water, and plant food to help their plants grow. And the result at the top there that got kind of cut off, close with the result of your efforts. It looks like from them using the sunlight, water, and plant food, their plants grew. And that is the STAR method for you. It's quite simple once you break it down in those terms. Whatever scenario you end up using, take time a little bit to make sure it's a good example, because like I said, you want to convey what your situation is very clearly, and you only have a certain amount of time. Make sure that it's something that shows you shining in the best light ever. However you handled that situation, make sure it made you look darn good after in your result. Don't ramble. Do not ramble. And don't just try to wing it. You should really take time to prepare for your video interview and use the best examples possible to, like I said, show yourself in the best light and give them a little taste of who you are as a person. All right, so when it comes to speaking on camera, some people have a problem with this. Imagine speaking on camera with just you being on the other end of that interview. It's just you. It's very nerve-wracking, okay? And I come from a journalism background where I've been on camera, and nothing is more awkward than just talking to the camera by yourself, answering interview questions. So my advice to you is do not be nervous. You need to come to this interview with a calm mind and a calm vibe. Come to your interview very confident, you know, because this is your one shot. They give it as your one shot to show who you are. So if they see somebody that's like nervous or just stutter or fidgety, it's like, okay, never mind. I don't know if I can send this person out into the world to handle my flight, because I mean, they can't handle this video interview. They're like nervous over this. How are they going to handle doing a safety demo in front of other people or doing their PAs? You know, it's those little things that you do that can affect how people look at you. So do not come on this interview nervous or, you know, uncomfortable. I want you to come in calm. I want you to come in confident. Also, give eye contact. If you're talking, do not just look around, talking like this. Don't look down the whole time, or try to give them direct eye contact. They need that because you're talking to them. Pretend that they're on the other end of this conversation, okay? And also, as I said before, do not ramble when it comes to answering these questions. Make sure your answer is clear and concise and it actually answers the question. Do not ramble on or go off into another topic, because like I said, you only have a certain amount of time and you want to make sure they understand you and what you're trying to say. What you can do is smile. Okay? If I talk to you in this video the whole time like this, you would have cut me off a long time ago, because this is uninviting, it's boring, and quite frankly, it's a little intimidating and uncomfortable. You need to smile. Smile. You are happy to be doing this interview. You are happy to be getting a chance to talk to these people, okay? So you need to smile. Plus, on top of that, this is a job where you need to be a welcoming, inviting individual. They want people that look like, well, they need to be also, but you need to look inviting and welcoming, you know, because you're dealing with their customers. They don't want anybody that looks cold, like they have an attitude, like they don't want to be here doing this interview. They want people that look nice and outgoing and, you know, just smile. So do not do this the whole time. Don't talk like this, because this looks phony and it looks scary. But throughout your interview, you know, just crack a smile here and there. If you have a little bit of a nervous laugh in between when you're gathering your thoughts, it's okay, because they understand this is a little bit awkward and it may be your first time doing it, but just keep going and smile through the whole thing. I promise you, a smile will go a long way. If you trip up or mess up and you just like lose your train of thought, you can say it like, oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought, but I'm back. Here we go. They will appreciate that way more than you being like, oh. Well, throw in the towel. That's it. I'm done. I messed up. Boop. No. It's all about the first impression. The lasting impression is the first impression. So you want to go in with the nice, good, confident, smiling, I'm happy to be here vibe. I promise you, it will get you further than anything else that you have been told. I promise you that. All right, so to recap on what we've talked about when it comes to doing your first initial video interview when it's just you and a camera, you should look and dress the part. Make sure you are well groomed, that you are dressed in a nice suit or dress or shirt and pants. Make sure you look crisp and clean regardless. Blue, white, and black are your best friends. I wouldn't go with any bold colors. Be sure that you are smiling throughout your interview. Study that STAR method, and also study and research on the company that you're trying to work for, because they appreciate it. Do not just say that you're here to travel, because we know that you are. It's like the big elephant in the room that actually everyone sees, okay? And let me just make sure I got everything. Yes. Be cool. Be confident. You're happy to be here. You got this. If you have any more questions or concerns, you can DM me or comment below here. on my YouTube at Kiara Sky. You can DM me on my Instagram or hit me up on Twitter at Kiara Sky with 2 underscores at the end. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful, and I'll see you guys in my next video.